Hello everyone, this is a little bit of a not very prepared video, as you can see by the angle and everything, but the Women's Prize for Fiction Longlist has just been announced, and I thought I will talk a little bit about it because it's more exciting than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, and happy Women's Day to everybody. But yeah, the first one in the list is Build Your House Around My Body by Violet Coopersmith. And this says part puzzle, part revenge tale, part ghost story. This kaleidoscopic novel set in Vietnam spins half-century of history and folklore into a thrilling read, acrobatic and filled with verve. Two young women go missing decades apart. Both are fearless, both are lost, and both will have their revenge. So it's set in Vietnam in 1986 and in 2011, which sounds fun, I think. The next one is Careless by Christy Capes. And this one, it says, sometimes it's easy to fall between the cracks. At 3 or 4 p.m. on a hot, sticky day in June, Bess finds out that she's pregnant. She could tell her social worker Henry, but he's useless. She should tell her foster mother, Lisa, but she won't understand. She really ought to tell Boy, but she hasn't spoken to him in weeks. Bess knows knows more than anyone that love doesn't come without conditions, but this isn't a love story. This one is not so interesting to me, on first sight. Something I probably would have been interested in when I was a teenager, but not so much now. So yeah, that one is probably not gonna read unless it's in the shortlist. The next one is Creatures of Passage by Morowa Yujida, I think. And this one says, Nefty Skinwell is a taxi driver of sorts in Washington, D.C., ferrying passengers in a 1967 Plymouth Belverde with a ghost in the trunk. Endless rides and alcohol help her manage her grief over the death of her twin brother Osiris, who was murdered and dumped into the Anacostia River. Yeah, this one is also not that interesting to me at first sight. It sounds like a mystery. It can be fun, but again, not gripped by it at first sight. The next one is Flamingo by Rachel Elliott, and this one says a novel of love, homelessness, and learning to be fearless. In the garden were three flamingos. In the garden there were three flamingos, not real flamingos, but real emblems, real getaways of a time when life was impossibly good, when they were mascot symbols of hope, something for a boy to confide in. This one sounds a lot about love, and it sounds like it might be interesting because of the form, not the story itself, because there's some symbolism and some parallels with these flamingos apparently. Maybe. This one is a maybe for me. And then the next one is Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead, which I have already read. I have a review out. I read it for the Booker Prize last year, and I thought it was okay. I think it's a decent story, but yeah, it was very slow in parts, and the dual timeline I'm not sure worked as they were expecting to work. I know a lot of people love it, but for me it was not the best. The next one is Remote Sympathy by Catherine Chitke, and it says an exquisitely readable polyphonic novel of domestic drama and human connection set in and around a concentration camp in Germany during the Second World War and its aftermath. Yeah, Second World War stuff, not my thing. I think it has been a bit overdone. It might be good. This one might be good, but yeah, Second World War stuff is not something that immediately grabs me. So that one is probably not unless it's in the shortlist kind of thing. By the way, I don't know if I'm going to read the shortlist when it's announced, but who knows? Yeah, the next one is Salt Lick by Lulu Allison. And it says, food production has moved overseas. The countryside is empty and once again wild. The rural economy has collapsed and people have no choice but to move to the cities. The population drifts away. Towns and villages are abandoned. It isn't dystopian, but it's further down the wrong road. So this sounds a little bit like the New Wilderness, that kind of dystopian but really real kind of thing. And I mean, I do like the topic, so I am interested in this one. I think that there are a lot of books like this that are not successful, and I don't know if this one will be successful or not. If it's in the list because of the topic, it's hyped, or because of the book is actually good. But I am interested in this one. Let's see. The next one is Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason, and I have heard good things about this one. It says, this novel is about a woman called Martha. She knows there is something wrong with her, but she doesn't know what it is. Her husband Patrick thinks she's fine. He says everyone has something. The thing is just keep going. Martha told Patrick before they got married that she didn't want to have children. He said he didn't mind either way because he has loved her since he was 14 and making her happy is all that matters, although he does not seem able to do it. By the time Martha finds out what is wrong, it doesn't really matter anymore. It's too late to get the only thing she has ever wanted. Or maybe it will turn out that you can stop loving someone and start again from nothing. If you can find someone else to want. This book is set in London and Oxford, and it's sad and funny. This one sounds mildly interesting. This one I wouldn't mind to read. I think it comes in with this kind of books. It comes out at the end about the execution more than anything else. So I don't know how that will go, but that one sounds like I could be interested in it. And the next one is The Book of Form and Emptiness by RUTH, which I have already read. I think I reviewed it in a wrap-up. I will put the wrap-up somewhere. I liked it a lot. I like RUTH a lot. I think that their books at the end, they always feel like they're missing something, especially at the ending. But the process of reading them, I really enjoy. So I'm happy that she's here. I don't know if she's going to make it to the shortlist, but I am happy that she's here. The next one is The Bread the Devil Knit by Lisa Allen Agostini. Let's see what this one is about. Alethea Lopez is about to turn 40. Fashionable, feisty, and fiercely independent, she manages a boutique in Port of Spain. So it's in Trinidad, right? I think that's Port of Spain is in Trinidad. But behind closed doors, she's covering up bruises from her abusive partner and seeking solace in an affair with her boss. When she witnesses a woman murdered by a jealous lover, the reality of her own future comes a little too close to home, bringing us her truth in an arresting and unsparing Trinidadian voice. Yeah, it's Trinidad. Althea unravels memories repressed in childhood and begins to understand the person she has become. Her next step is to decide the woman she wants to be. Again, this one sounds like it could be good and it could be bad. So I think I probably will wait for reviews on that one. Yeah, there are a lot of these books that seem crimey. But yeah, we'll see. And the next one is The Exhibitionist by Charlotte Mendelssohn. Meet the Han family gathering for a momentous weekend as a famous artist and notorious egoist, Roy Han prepares for a new exhibition of his art, the first in many decades, and one he's sure will burnish his reputation for good. Yeah, this one is again sounds like mystery thing. I'm not sure this one is for me either. I tend to not like books about art. I find them quite pretentious most of the time. The next one is the final revival of Opal and Neff by Donnie Walton, which I have heard good things about, but I'm not interested in as a general feeling. It says a poignant fictional oral history of the beloved rock and roll duo who shot to fame in the 1970s New York and the dark, fraught secret that lies at the peak of their stardom. Again, I'm not super into books about art or music or any of that stuff. I think they tend to be kind of pretentious and a bit disregard the rest of the professions. So I'm not super interested in this one. I knew that it existed, but I'm not super interested. Yeah, that one I don't think I will read. The next one is The Island of Missing Trees by ELIF SHAFAK, which I really liked. Again, I reviewed it. I don't know if it was in some kind of wrap-up or by itself. I think it was in some kind of wrap-up, so I will try to find it and put it somewhere. But I really liked that one. That one is about a family from Cyprus. So in Cyprus, people are kind of divided into Greeks and Turkish. So one of the people in the couple is Greek and the other one is Turkish, and they live in London. And yeah, it's about that relationship and the situation in Cyprus. Also, it's narrated partly by a tree, which was interesting. It can be a bit gimmicky sometimes, but in this case, for me, it did work. So yeah, that one is a good one. I hope it makes it far. Maybe it will even win. I wouldn't mind that. The next one is The Paper Palace by Miranda Cowley Heller. And this one says, it's a perfect July morning and Elle, a 50-year-old happily married mother of 3, awakens at the Paper Palace, a family summer place which she has visited every summer of her life. But this morning is different. Last night Elle and her oldest friend, Jonas, crept out of the back door into the darkness and had sex with each other for the first time, all while their spouses chatted away inside. That doesn't sound like super interesting to me. There seems to be a lot of books as well that are about older people, which is nice. But yeah, that one in particular is not my cup of tea. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe it gets good reviews. Some of these things are also always about how they're written. The next book is The Sentence by Louise Endrich, which, yeah, this one I had read about, looked into that one. Louise Endrich's latest novel, The Sentence, asks what we owe to the living, the dead, to the reader, and to the book. A small independent bookstore in Minneapolis is haunted from November 2019 to November 2020 by the store's most annoying customer. Flora dies on All Souls Days, but she simply won't leave the store. Tuki, who was landed a job selling books after years of incarceration that she survived by reading, with murderous attention, must solve the mystery of this haunting while at the same time trying to understand all that occurs in Minneapolis during a year of grief, astonishment, isolation, or furious reckoning. Yeah, again, this one could be interesting. I have heard good things about it, but some of those things make me a little bit iffy, so I don't know where I stand on this one. I might pick it up, but we'll see. Probably will pick it up if it's in the shortlist, but we'll see. And then the last one is This One Sky Day by Leon Ross, which I have also heard very good things about. And this one, I think it did sound interesting when I heard about it. So it says, dawn breaks across the archipelago of Popicho. The world's stirring awake again, each resident with their own list of things to do. A wedding feast to conjure and cook, an infidelity to investigate, a lost soul to set free. As the sun rises, two star-crossed lovers try to find their way back to one another across this single day. When night falls, all have been given a gift, and many are no longer the same. Yeah, this one might sound interesting. I might read it. But yeah, so a lot of these books are about love, a lot of these books are about mysteries. There is also quite a lot of older people, which is nice, and a few world books in the announcement. The one of the judges said like we are really having books from all over the world. Um, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, there are a few books that are from other places than England or the UK or the US. So that's a positive, I guess. Yeah, I'm more interested in this long list than I was last year. I think that having Ruth OZEKI there and ELIF SHAFAK, which are two authors that I really enjoy, make me think that maybe this long list will be more for me than other long lists that I have seen from the Women's Prize for Fiction. I will still not read the whole long list for sure. I don't have time for that. I might pick up a couple of the books. Also, several of the books are quite chunky. Like, there is no like really big book, but there are a few books that are more than 400 pages in that list. So yeah, I'm not sure how many of them I will be able to read, but I will keep an eye on them. And I think maybe when the shortlist is announced, I will look into it again and see if I want to read some of the books in the shortlist, because again, as I said, some of these premises sound like they could be very interesting, or they could be just that. So I would like to hear other people's opinions on them to see if I actually want them or not. But yeah, that's all for me. Let me know what you think about the list. If you are interested in any of the books, if you have read any of the books. Happy Women's Day, and until next video, bye.